Welcome to Cantainment, where the news in Canada is so exciting you can't contain it. It's literally the news is starting to spread all around the world. And I decided to create a YouTube channel so I can talk about issues that are at stake right now, and mainly our freedom. Now, I want to be as unbiased as humanly possible, although it's almost impossible not to be a little bit biased. You're either going to be a little bit biased on the left, a little bit on the right. Now, I'm not a journalist, I'm not a reporter, anything like that. I just like to talk about what is happening right now today with our country. And right now, there is a freedom convoy in Ottawa. Right now, there are bridges that are being blocked. Our government is calling it an illegal blockade. They were confiscating jerry cans a few nights ago, and now there's a junction in place where it says that basically you have to leave the bridges. Ambassador Bridge, for example, and I believe it's a 10-day injunction. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's only for 10 days. Possibly it could get extended. But what I don't like is the threats from the government to say that if you are interested in coming to our city to protest, realize that this is illegal. You will be fined up to $100,000. You could be jailed. You could have your license removed. You could have your travel arrangements squashed. And it's kind of interesting that Justin Trudeau blended the two together, saying that if you come to help or assist protesters or you want to protest, you could be fined, and then mixing in that what you're doing is illegal. Protesting is not illegal in Canada. It is not. Carrying jerry cans is not illegal. If it was, there were so many times where I ran out of gas and I had to get a jerry can. If that was illegal, I'd still be stuck on the highway. So it's not illegal. So it's just kind of weird how this is kind of taken a bit of a turn. And I think the prime minister he's painted himself into a corner where it's going to be very tough for him to get out unless some, I don't want to say physical harm, but something traumatic could happen out of this. Innocent people could be hurt if Trudeau doesn't back down, really, at the end of the day. And by backing down, all he has to do is just say, you know what, for the truckers, we're not going to mandate vaccines. We're not. The country's opening up all across. We're not going to, like, why would you do it now when we're minutes from opening the whole country up 100%? Why would you usher that in when other countries around the world are dropping mandates? It almost felt like it was a little bit too early for Trudeau to do that. So it's very confusing. And I'm not a politician, but I am leaning to the side of freedom. I like the idea that we have freedom to speak. We have a choice to talk about whatever we want to talk about on a YouTube channel without people calling us names. And it's fair if you want to call me whitey or if you want to call me privileged, whatever you feel comfortable doing, feel free. I'm not going to turn off my comments. I appreciate everyone's comments. So if you think I'm privileged, if you think I'm a whitey and I'm only talking about politics and all that kind of stuff, even though my channel is literally minutes old, that's fine. You have your opinion. I'm not going to get mad at you for that because we all view the world with our own particular lenses. We do. We all have our own bias. So the second you look at someone and go, Whitey, why don't you share about Indigenous people? Why don't you do that? Why don't you talk about that? It's just kind of an interesting thing to say when you don't know my background. You don't know where I came from. You don't know who my parents were or anything like that. You don't know whether or not I lived on a reserve. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. I'm going to lean to the side of yes, I did. I used to live on a reserve. And maybe my dad was in one of those residential schools. But hey, you didn't ask. You just assume that because I look white, I'm 100% white. I do have some Scottish. do have a little bit Irish, a little smidgen. I do have some Swedish blood in me as well. So it's just kind of interesting that people can throw stuff out and then say, don't be biased when they're throwing out their biases, if you will, towards me. But that's fine, because this is what this channel is all about. It's about being able to communicate, to be able to talk and discuss. And yeah, I'm probably going to do a video about what has happened with the orange shirt debacle, where one of the truckers, I believe, said that he's declaring National Orange Shirt Day. I thought that was kind of weird. That's a weird thing to say when for the past, I believe it's 8 or 9 years, that has been, there's an organization called the Orange Shirt Charity or Organization, I believe, where they created funds to be able to support families that have been struck by the indecency, if you will, of what was happening with all these Aboriginal schools, if you will. Terrible, terrible. I can share stories about that from my relatives going through some of that stuff. So maybe I'll make some videos about that. But the interesting thing is, if you get nothing else from this, is everybody has their own bias when it comes to what they believe in, what they think, all this kind of stuff. And I'm probably going to be wrong on a lot of things that I think I'm right on. I'll just throw that out there. I'm probably going to be wrong on a lot of stuff, but I try to go along with my gut and go, man, this feels weird. This feels wrong. I can't fully articulate it, but this feels wrong. So that's a little bit of what you get on this YouTube channel. If you like this type of content, feel free to subscribe to the channel, comment, love your comments. Please keep the comments coming. And if there's a video or a topic that you would like me to talk about, let me know that in the comment section as well. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.